Well, I'm not entirely sure how this happened, but I'm back on the Sony because somehow in the rush this morning, even though I specifically grabbed the camera, put the battery in it and everything, I somehow left it on the dining room table when I left. So luckily though, yesterday I was like, I'm gonna put the Sony in the glove box of my car because at some point I'm gonna forget my camera and I still want to be able to vlog, otherwise that's going to be a huge deal, right? And it turned out it was the next day. Anyways, we're at a random PA and we're about to get to Yashio factory, and I was getting a bit sleepy and I was like, you know what, we need a coffee. And it's been a while since we've done ASMR coffee time. Let's shut off the car so you can just hear this crisp sound. I hope you're ready, boys. Oh, yes, that was a good crisp crack. The coffee's even better. Mountain Emerald, well, it's actually Emerald Mountain Blend, but sometimes I call it Mountain Emerald Blend. Maybe I'm dyslexic, I don't know. Anyways, another good Georgia coffee and a very good starter one for anyone who hasn't tried these before and you're coming to Japan. I recommend trying this first, or like a Boss Rainbow. So, like I said, we're close to Yashio factory. Let's get there. We got a lot of work to do today. We got to get rid of that diff oil smell that's coming into the car every time I floor it, that May keeps complaining about, and that I'm also like getting ridiculously high off. Every time the fumes come in, it is like strong, and it's only when I floor it. There's no leaks or anything like that. I think it's just literally like the gas coming out of the venting tube, which like vents in the chassis, which then seeps into the car. So we're gonna fix that. We're also gonna help clean up some more stuff around the workshop, probably find some really cool memorabilia. Actually, I got a lot of cool stuff to find you that to show you that Kenji found. I can't even speak. Longest intro ever, I know. But guys, can I just say thank you so much to everyone who's just subscribed. We're so close to 100K. I can't thank you enough. Keep sharing the channel around on your Insta, on your Facebook, everything like that. 100K by the end of this week. I know we can do it. Please and thank you. I couldn't be doing this without you. So let's get on with the vlog. Nothing like a wee little bit of gate first thing in the morning, eh lads? Oh, this thing rips. So today's plans are going to be to make this a tire rack up here and try to clear out some of these tires. These are all brand new tires in stock. So we want to move like a whole bunch of those up there, and maybe even make like a second level up there that we can store wheels and tires and stuff up there that Oka-chan doesn't want to use like anytime soon. Like they're not priority, you know what I mean? Oka-chan's going to be busy in meetings all day, and Fukusawa-san's working on this customer's car. So what I'm going to do is probably move Oka-chan's car out and move my car in, because the first thing I want to do is fix that diff. Once that's all sorted out, then we'll probably move tires. Kenji was supposed to meet me here and tell me how he wanted to arrange everything, so he's running a bit late as well, so we'll have to wait till he gets here before we can do that. So that's kind of why I'll do the diff now. So let's get to it. All right, lads, so we got the car up in the air. Go get another jack stand. We'll sit it on that before we start sliding under there and mucking around with the diff. But might be due to change these tires soon too. Oh boy. Had a bit too fun with these when we were doing the shakedown. Let's get this under here. Where are we at? There we go. We'll bring that sucker down a little bit, and then it'll be safe enough for us to work on it. If I told you guys how much I like this jack, I think I have a few times, hey. Now that we're all safe, we're going to roll out one of these new bamboo tatami kind of style mats that Kenji's bought for the workshop, because apparently the previous mats we used to lie on were all broken and dirty. Anyways, also, if you just lie on the floor here in Japan, well, I mean, I know at this workshop at least, Oka-chan screams at you and tells you you're unclean, so he makes you lie on something. That's why we have these. Alright, so it's hard to see, but there's a vent tube here. Goes to the top of the diff. And then you can see over here how shiny and how much oil's been leaking out through the chassis from that. So that was at the drift event, that was like flowing a fair bit, because I think we overfilled the diff a bit. But this vent tube, as the oil heats up and cycles and stuff like that, the fumes are going straight pretty much into the cabin. So the best way to fix that and to stop oil leaking out everywhere and making a huge mess is to just put a catch can in. Super easy to do. I'll go get one now and I'll show you how we're going to do it. So this is literally all it's going to be. A little bottle and some tubing. You just pick this up from a home center or a hardware store, super cheap. It's like 10 bucks, nothing more. So normally I mount these in the boot, in like the rear well here near the gas pickup. So let's pop the boot and have a quick look what we got to work with here. Oh yeah, I need to try and pull my tools out, but I'll probably end up mounting it in the same spot I did in my Skyline. If you remember that video, some of you OGs might. It was a fair long time ago now. Yeah, so we'll probably mount it down here. There's a few holes and stuff like that that I can just get tie laps in, and the bottle will sit inside there, just like this, like that. And then every now and then you just unscrew the cap, take the bottle out and dump it. But I mean, you only have to do it like once a year, because even my Skyline only has like this much diff oil in it. So anyways, I'm gonna get to running the line, get some lights under here, and maybe set up a time lapse. So we are now finished with the nice venting tube that goes all the way along here, up in there, and as you would have seen in the time lapse, nicely tucked in there, just like in my Skyline. So we got our diff catch can installed, but I made a bit of a bad discovery under here. So yesterday, and a couple days like after we went and did the shakedown, I noticed that there was a bit of noise in my rear end. Now it's hard to tell because there's a lot of noise from the diff and everything else that's going on here. But the main noise that you're hearing there is from the CV shaft. Now I noticed that there was a fair bit of grease being sprayed out of it, and I was like, okay, maybe the boot's just a little bit worn. But as I rotated this around, I found that there was a bit of grease on the metal housing. I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. So what I did, so I went and got the brake cleaner and I gave it a nice little clean, and I made a discovery. The grease has been seeping out of a pretty big crack in the housing. That's just spreading and spider webbing everywhere. It's hard to see. You can kind of see it there on camera. And it's like there's a bulge from the inside coming out. So, should be okay to drive on right now. We were gonna switch it out with one from the S15 over there, but those are so rusted, it's not even worth. Like they can be rebuilt. So what we're probably going to do is organize a new one from Nissan, or we're going to get this rebuilt with a new housing. But yeah, you can clearly see, you have a good close look there. That's where the grease has been leaking out of, and now this CV shaft is like pretty noisy. And we don't want to risk this breaking because we got Nikko Circuit on the 30th and like another 3 drift events after that, right after one another. So we definitely need to replace that before the 30th, so we'll get that sorted out. I'm just doing more inspections and see what else, if there's anything else here that's like causing this to be a bit noisy. I'm a bit worried about my like carrier shaft bearing or whatever that is in the middle there. It looks like there's a fair bit of space there. I'm not sure if that's meant to be there, because it does feel like the tail shaft vibrates a fair bit. So I don't know if that's supposed to have that much space in there or what, but we'll look at that later with Oka-chan and see what he says. And like I said, he's busy in meetings right now, so we can't really talk to him and bother him. We're going to clean all this up with some brake cleaner, get all the diff oil out of there. If any of you guys want some diff oil rubbery goodness, please hit me up. 500 bucks a pop, a little baggy, 1 gram. You can probably tell what I'm doing with this indicator on. So a lot of you guys were messaging me about these little resistor packs getting very, very hot. And right now, I cannot keep my hand on that for too long because it is burning hot. Now, when I have the hazards on, it doesn't seem to use that circuit. It uses something else, and the resistor doesn't get hot at all. But when I use my indicator and leave like the right on for a long period of time, like a few minutes, then it heats up a lot. And obviously same with the left one. So what I did was I separated them from the group of wires that I zip tied them around like you guys told me to, and I pretty much just relocated it to up there so it's by itself and less dangerous and against the metal, so it'll dissipate heat even better. They're the same thing on this side too. So thank you so much for messaging me about that, guys. I had no idea. But also, I thought it was weird too, because when hazards are on, it doesn't even seem to use the resistor. So maybe hazards uses a different circuit or something like that. But nonetheless, we're all good now. And the great cleanup continues. We're already halfway through cleaning up all the extra wheels and tires there. Found some wheels that we didn't even know were there, so they're probably going on Yahoo auctions. Just weird 17 4-lug 180SX sizes that will just never get used. We moved all the new Valino tires there that were over there, and now we're just going to kind of sort through all of these. We got these NKs and SSRs here that originally came on my car, so I'll probably list these on Yahoo auctions or take them to Up Garage or something. They're just 17s, but they are decent wide sizing, so I'll probably use them, or I don't know if I'll use them because it's, oh, actually these kind of wouldn't be bad fronts maybe. I don't know. I'll look at the sizes later, but they're probably gonna end up on Yahoo. All right, so check this out. I don't think I've ever seen so much space in this back section. All the wheels and tires, we moved them over here. Kenji's a machine when it comes to cleaning and rearranging stuff. It's ridiculous. So we've filled in all of that. We now got to find a new place for this toolbox that's empty and just been there for like 10 years. But starting to make some moves. So this is where we're leaving it for today. We're going to shuffle some more things around. We're going to end up moving probably the pink tire rack back. Oko-chan still wants to have those two there because he needs easy access, because that goes with him sometimes on the track at events and whatnot. So having it over there is not a good idea, especially considering we're going to be probably putting another car in here. This is kind of like our up garage pile right now. There's a few parts in here that we are going to probably use tomorrow though. Some parts of Vito-san's car that he's getting tomorrow as well. I am probably going to use one of these CV shafts in my car until that one comes back from being rebuilt. So tomorrow I'll put this one in. I think the left one is the shorter one. The reason why I don't want to just leave this in there though is like these seals are pretty shot at the end here, so they're all rusted out and these probably need rebuilding themselves. So what's going to happen is, like I said, we'll switch it out tomorrow, and I'm just going to baby this thing home, maybe hit gate once or twice on the way home only, not like 10 times like I usually would. I don't know. Anyways, car's back on the ground now. I'm pretty keen to take it for a little bit of a rip just to see if it gets that terrible smell, otherwise known as the smell of rich mahogany. But yeah, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow for sure. Oh boy, that's really on there. Might have to drive that thing back before I can move. But yeah, pretty fun day and productive day at Yashio Factory once again. One thing I forgot to show you guys is what we did here. We got all of the photos and cleaned them all up that was scattered around the workshop and put them all up on the walls here. We even got the original sign that he had on his workshop before this one. There's a really old one from like an even smaller shop than that one. That was the one that was before this current workshop. So he's been in 3 workshops in the years, and this was the original sign from the first workshop he ever had. So we put that up there for now because it kind of looks cool. And then this was the second workshop he ever had. And then this is where like the really cool memorabilia starts, all the different cars and races that he's been in, big accomplishments and stuff like that. Super cool. I think one of my favorite ones is this from D1, Minami. And then Oko-chan hid the 33 GTR one all the way up here, which I'm planning, because he's now headed off home and finished his meetings, I'm planning to put up there. We'll do that now. Just gonna sneak a skyline in the wall of Silvia's. I'm sure he's not gonna complain too much. Well, he probably won't notice it for a while, or he's gonna notice it first thing tomorrow. That'll be funny as. That's much better. Skyline up front. Not center, but up front to the left of that wall of Silvia's. Much better there. And then of course, the Impreza on this end. Actually, that kind of works out really well. Skyline on that end and Impreza on that end. This thing's gonna be coming back. This is what it looked like before it got painted in the electric green. It's in a crash state in storage, but Oko-chan's planning to start rebuilding that next year as well. So hopefully we get to see that on the channel, probably end of next year, I'd say, because that thing, the 8.6 is getting built next. So I just got home, and on the drive back on the highway, I did a few kind of light pulls, and I could still smell trans fluid or diff fluid. And now that I've ruled out that it's definitely not coming from the rear, there's got to be something. Oh yeah, that's it. All right, it's all leaking out of here. So this must have a split. The inner seal here must have a split in it. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. This happens on, this is very common on our chassis. Our chassis too, there's this like inner seal here, and if it splits, it leaks out and you get this stink. Now what sucks though is I looked at this before and didn't see a split or any fluid or oil leaking out. So it's kind of annoying. Yeah, there's a hole there, right there. You can see it. Hang on, let me adjust the camera a bit so you can see it. There's a pretty big gash in that rubber boot seal there. So hopefully you can see this. There's a big hole. Ow, far out, I'm burning my finger. That's so hot. But yeah, you can see there's a huge gash in that, and there's just oil all in here. So that's what that smell is. It's just been overflown out of that seal. So I'm gonna try and get this part maybe from the Nissan Parts Center tomorrow. If not though, I'll order it and it'll come in at Yoshio factory. So that kind of sucks. We'll just kind of put that back over like that and pretend I didn't see that. That kind of sucks. But nonetheless, we ruled it out. I thought I checked this before, but I didn't check the inner seal. I just checked the outer seal here. So that'll be why that's leaking and smelling like that. Nonetheless, we still needed to do the diff catch can though, because that was leaking everywhere, as you guys saw on the drift day, as well as just in general when I'm ripping on it. So that worked out well. Also, just quickly, I highly recommend these headlights. They have gotten me out of a pickle so many times, and they're great for when you're working on your car and whatnot. Oh yeah, you can also have a rave party with them. But yeah, I super recommend them when you're working on your car late at night, or just to keep them in your glove box, because if ever you're pulled over on the side of the road and it's dark and you need to fix something, they're just brilliant. Put it on your head and wherever you look, you've got light. So that's a plus. Anyways, enough ranting, let's get inside. All right guys, I'm about to smash out this edit, but I honestly feel pretty good about today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed today because we finally got to the bottom of the smell of rich mahogany in my S15, aka trans fluid. The whole time, it was next to me. It was right in front of me. I even had my hand on it every day, but had no idea until today. So yeah, at the end of it, we still had to do the catch can thing because we didn't want oil leaking everywhere on the track and didn't want a whole mess happening back there. So that's a plus, and as well, we just kind of process of elimination figured it out. And if we didn't jack up the car to do the catch cam, we wouldn't have found the crack in the CV shaft, and that would have been a no-gamer for the next couple drift events we've got. I'm literally drifting like 6 times in the next 3 weeks. It's kind of insane. Literally 30th, 2nd, and a couple dates I can't mention yet. But anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Nearly at 100K. Tell your friends, sub, get all your alt accounts, sub. Oh my gosh. Peace out. Ciao mata.